Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with Morsels of a Thought number 1497. We are here in the Rules Handbook today. I accidentally put them upside down, so here are the Rules Handbook on top and on bottom and in my hands. We are in, by the way, the authors' names are Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider, the mavens, the wise women of dating in the world. Seriously, they are the wisest of the rules because they made the rules. They wrote the rules. The rules were made by mankind. Uh, I am woman, hear me roar. Men can speak, but nothing more. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. New York Times best-selling authors of The Rules, Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider. The Rules Handbook, a guide to creating loving and lasting relationships. Now, my goal is to give you morsels of a thought every morning. That's what MoaT stands for. This is the first time I have ever not put the dots in between the letters. 1,497 was the 1,497th time that I have come online this way, and this time I didn't put the dots between the M, the O, and the A and the T. Sometimes I don't put it after the A because it's just A, you know? But morsels of a thought of wisdom are here for you to have an inspired day. I want to give you morsels of a thought of wisdom, women, men, children alike. No, it's not made for kids, according to YouTube, but it is good for kids to learn as well if I don't put a check mark in it. A check mark means I've put a profanity into the videotape, and I want to create a subscriber list on YouTube. So the way to find me on YouTube is to search search yin yang morsels of a thought, and you'll get a few. And I am trying to figure out how to do it. But anyway, please subscribe there if you see me there. And if you watch the video, please like it as well, so I get a few votes that say that people like me. And I want to impart some real wisdom. The fortune cookie I got many years ago said, knowing the right thing to do is wisdom. It's not all wisdom, but it is wisdom. And doing it is virtue. Wow. So if you have the morsels of a thought, you get a chance to do something that creates virtue in the world, and we change the world this way, one subscriber at a time. I now have 26 subscribers, so please do come over there and look for me. Please. You have no idea. Anyway, day 308. We are in course 5, create respectful marriages and partnerships. It was really funny. I was with somebody and people thought that we were a couple, and I'm straight. So it was, you know how interesting that can get anyway. But respectful relationships anyway between others as well. This is a book for all kinds of relationships, really all kinds, except for dogs and cats. Except. It's always an except. Day 308. Remember why you love him. We are in the week that says choose forgiving over fighting. We went over don't fight. Give him a pass. Lower your expectations. Don't poke the bear. Sorry, not sorry. In other words, you apologize to him to show him an example of how to apologize, but don't get upset with him if he does not apologize yet. Never use the D word other than when afterward, if there is an afterward, but never, ever in the marriage or partnership, never use the D word. Even when dating before you're married, Don't use the M word, don't use the D word, but when you're married, just don't use the D word. Remember why you love him. Some married women have amnesia. They forgot why they fell in love with their partners and only focus on his faults from their lower self, such as he's grumpy, he snores, he is glued to sports and video games, or he talks too much or too little. Of course, it doesn't come naturally to remember the moment you decided he was the one and couldn't wait for his next call, text, or date. Just like you don't walk around all day thinking, thank God I have 2 arms and 2 legs. You don't always think about how lucky you are to be married. You take your husband for granted. To be happily married, remember how much you wanted to marry him. Higher self. Apply the rules to achieve your higher self. 3 points here. If an argument is escalating and it's getting late, don't force yourself to resolve it that night. Go to bed. Everything is better in the morning. Number 2, don't demand an apology. If he doesn't say he's sorry or it's not from his heart, it won't mean anything anyway. It's more important that he changes or you accept him as he is than he apologizes. Number 3, don't fight about silly things like who forgot to change the toilet paper. If you see something that needs to be done, just do it. I worked in a pharmacy and my job did not include certain things, and I was really mad about my income. My pay was too little. So I would not want to do it. But the boss lady came in, the wife of the proprietor. Well, she was the proprietor too. Um, she came in. This is Robin. And she comes in and she says, if you see something wrong, fix it. You know, because the customers have no idea what's good or bad behind the counter. All we can do is present the best face we've got, right? So, and I loved that job. Um, it's interesting. Yeah. So then we go to week 7. Create respectful marriages and partnerships. You have all the power to create a happy marriage. Your Rules Weekly pep talk here. We can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. So when you go into marriage, don't expect the other partner to change. Okay, I have a huge example of something. Somebody I know got married, and I've known her partner for all his life. And he's always just a certain way. He speaks with a modulated tone. A modulated tone speaks from the heart with a certain cadence, a certain rhythm, and always keeps the same pace. He never speeds up his speech. Well, she marries him, and then she says to me, don't you think he's so slow? You married him already. You can't change him. If you didn't want that, you'd have to find somebody else to marry. But you've married him already. So how can you possibly hold that against him? That's who he is. And I've known it his whole life. He was in his 40s when he got married, and there it was, you know. I mean, that's him. That's him. That's who he is. I know him. I know her. I know her. We know people who we have to make huge efforts to like. And if we don't, then we don't really have them in our lives. So you just make a choice. A higher self, in your higher self, you make a choice. Does that person really appreciate me or not? If they don't, then perhaps I should look for somebody I want that appreciates me and I have them in my life. Instead, I don't need toxicity in my relationships. And I've noticed that one of my rules friends, um, she's really, really good at finding people who are high energy and good energy. She's really good about, except, but she's really good about almost every single one of her friends is a high energy person. And when they do drop off because sometimes things change in people's lives and people go through phases, and perhaps they go into a permanent phase or a temporary phase of being less high energy, less higher self. And at that point, you can distance yourself from them, hold them at, love them from afar. Love them from afar. That's what rules coach Edna McIntosh says. Love them from, send them love. And she says that a lot. She's a rules coach as well. She's on the telephone on Tuesdays and Sundays. I'll put the phone number below, and I'll have to do it in YouTube and Facebook. So I will put their phone number there. It's at Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and Sundays. And you can talk about everything about the rules if you've read the books. If you've read a book, or if you have already chosen the rules to be your mantras, or I shouldn't say mantras, I should say your principles of dating. If you have adopted the principles of dating from the rules, then join the club. It's not a club. Just join the call. Um, Also, there is a life coach who does the rules, and she's on Facebook. And I will put her page number in the comments as well for Facebook. But I will also put it on the YouTube channel when I get to it. Okay, we can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. So when you go into marriage, don't expect the other partner to change. Accept them as they are, unless their actions or behaviors are destructive or violent. Don't accept that. A rules marriage is happy because you are a team player. Change yourself, follow the family leader, and don't fight against human nature. Work together and support him as a valuable member of your family team. I know other people too who are married, and the old, there used to be some jokes. I probably shouldn't say them, but where one of the members of the marriage is always being put down and not valued. That's really sad. That's really sad. So don't make that happen. Work together and support him as a valuable member of your family team. When you support your husband and respect his masculine side, he will be thrilled. He'll also live longer. Hint, hint. And when you embrace your feminine side, you will be diplomatic, not bossy. And you won't insist on always getting your way or being right. That's the higher self. This is another thing Ed said the other day. Let your feet do the talking. If something is not going your way, and uh, well, she was talking about a singles event kind of thing, where if the man that you just met at the event comes and tries to sit next to you and you're annoyed with that, you get up and walk away. You don't say anything about it. You just don't say anything to him. Just get up and walk away. When you embrace your feminine side, you will be diplomatic, not bossy. This week, focus on helping and cheerleading your husband, not harassing him. You're on his side because his side is your side. This week, focus on being on team last name, family last name, team family last name, like say my last name, Team Young, right? You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You have the power to create a happy marriage. Daily rules, day 309. The power of taking the high ground. You might think that the rules for marriage. Now, the lipstick stays on. I'm just moving it aside to get the book out. This is the book, The Rules for Marriage. Time-Tested Secrets for Making Your Marriage Work by Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider, the authors of the #1 New York Times best-selling phenomenon, The Rules. I'm going to look and see how long ago they figured this out. We will read this again. Now, I think the first printing was 2001, and this is from the first printing. I'm keeping this book forever. I actually read it too when I was married, and I needed a divorce, so I got one, but this held it together until it didn't work, you know? So, seriously, this book is a good one. I'll read you part of the back. Now you're looking for ways to keep your relationship happy and healthy. You did the rules, and they worked. The rules for marriage is here. The rules is a trademarked item. Because women like you want realistic solutions, authors Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider again come to the rescue with a set of rules. Some will sound familiar, others are completely new, but they all lead to the same wonderful future, the one where you and your husband stay together forever. Yay! Yay, yay, yay. Can't put that book away. We'll put it over here for a second. Okay, so sorry. You've seen it, though. You might think that the rules for marriage are one-sided. You're the one being easy to be with. You're letting him win, and you're not complaining or saying the D word. Why are you supposed to try acting like a saint? What's in it for you? A lot. You get security and devotion, cards and flowers for no occasion, a guy who opens doors and holds up the umbrella in the rain, and a husband who wants to grow old with you. That is so important. Growing old together in the Chinese tradition, you have a marriage lasts 100 years, and if it really does last 100 years, you have to get married again, because that's the end of that first marriage, and you have to get married again and haven't had the ceremony. It's really cool. I think that's 100. It's either 50 or 100. It's some number. It's some big number, and not impossible, but very rare. Like, because people don't get married when they're 16 anymore. Yeesh. Well, in today's society, it's yeesh. We know women whose husbands forget Valentine's Day, which is coming up next Friday, by the way. Next Friday, not tomorrow, but Friday of next week. So, husbands, Friday of next week is Valentine's Day. Shh, shh. Hurry and get the plan together, all right? Do your planning. We know women whose husbands forget Valentine's Day or their wedding anniversary. That I can't help you with. Not necessarily. These women are probably not doing the rules for marriage, so they get that. Excuse me. Pardon me. Oh, okay. Ta-da! Gee whiz! I wonder what's going on. We're gonna get some water. Oh, goodness gracious. Because we're a little thirsty here. A little thirsty. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Water. Water. Whoa. Shiri, agua, mizu. A lot. You get security and devotion, cards and flowers for no reason, occasion, a guy who opens doors and holds up the umbrella in the rain, and a husband who wants to grow old with you. We know women whose husbands forget Valentine's Day or their wedding anniversary. These women are probably not doing the rules for marriage, so they get that kind of husband and not your husband. Uh, that kind of husband. When you do the rules, you will filter out automatically the men who are not that interested in you, because when you have done the rules in the beginning, you wind up expecting dates every week if you're steady, if you're exclusive. Once you become exclusive is the key thing. Early on, your first date, according to the coaches, is the first date is any time of the week. But after that, it's expected to be Saturday night or Friday night for the dating, for the non-exclusive ones. After that, for exclusive couples, you're expected most often time of meeting will be Saturday nights. Saturday nights, that's the spot for you. If your boyfriend is only seeing you on Thursday nights, there's not quite everything going on right. Let's say there's just something wrong there. But keep in mind, there are people who have work schedules where their weekend is, say, Tuesday and Wednesday. In that case, then, your Saturday nights are on Tuesday nights because their weekend is on Tuesday, Wednesday. It's the first day of the weekend for them. Hopefully, you don't have to deal with complicated situations like that. But once you've done that and the guy stops calling or he skips a week here or there, he keeps on skipping weeks, you know he's not that interested in you, or he's got somebody else that he's, phasing out. Usually that doesn't, it's not that often that that will happen. But you will phase him, you will filter out. For example, the date that I did not accept from somebody, it filtered them out. They weed themselves out. The men that aren't rules worthy weed themselves up. But if John Clark can tell you if he's crazy about you, he'll come after you. It'll be nice. It'll be really nice. I hope Barbara's watching this, that she can attest to it. Okay, well, anyway, I will talk to you again tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Okay, old Kinderheck.